Hey, what's going on, guys? This is AndrewChicken, and welcome back to another video. We are live on Twitch doing another Update Notes recording. The Update Notes are already here for the next update. They're kind of speedrunning this update, and it's an interesting update because instead of getting a new champion, we're getting a new siege map. That's right, not a TDM map like some people were scared of. It's a siege map, and it looks really, really cool. No spoilers. We'll get to that when we get to that, wherever it shows up in the Update Notes. But yeah, no new champion in the Dawnforge update. As much as you might think this character is a new champion, no, it's actually much more disappointing than that. So let's just jump right in. So I guess up first here in the update notes, instead of the new champion, we just get right to the event pass, which is Chaos Rising. And if we're being totally honest, this looks very similar to the previous battle pass in terms of like the vibe of the skins and the actual aesthetic of the skins. So yeah, standard event pass, 24 levels, stuff like that. And also, one thing to note, I think they get into this lower on in the update notes, is that you will now be able to buy event pass levels with gold. Which is really funny, because I remember at least one commenter, if I can find the comment, I'll put it on the screen. I can remember at least one commenter being like, hey, you just spent 9 million gold on titles, you're bankrupt now they're going to add a use for gold, and it's going to be really funny. And here we are, it's the next update, they're adding use for gold. So, rest in peace, my Paladins gold bank account. Yeah, but no, I don't really struggle to level up the event pass anyways through regular XP. So, but yeah, this is good for people who have a bunch of gold lying around, but don't necessarily have the time to grind their event pass to 50 because, you know, people have actual lives and things. So, really, really good change. And yeah, if we get into the skins here, we have Eternal Emissary Tyra, which we're going to zoom nice in for you guys. This skin is interesting. It really... I thought it was like a remix of the Leon skin at first, because like we've got the white hair, we've got the faces, which I'm pretty sure are either on the Leon skin or the Oni Tiberia skin. By the way, very reminiscent of that. Same color palette. Like, I thought it was remix of the Leon skin at first, but no, it's a Tyra skin. And the weapon looks pretty good. It's overall a decent skin. If you like the aesthetic, you like the aesthetic. For me, I feel like Tyra has better skins. And there are skins I prefer purely based on aesthetic, like the Firebrand skin, in particular the weapon of that one is really nice, although this one has a nice weapon too. And the, what's it called? Gunslinger, I think? The Cowgirl skin, I like that one too. The most disappointing thing about this skin, honestly, is just that it's another Tyra skin, but otherwise it's pretty solid. And yeah, up next, here's the new Abyss tank we thought we were getting. No, it's actually, it's a ROM skin, dude. I wish so much that we got a new female tank, but we're not even getting a new tank this year, period. So, congratulations, this is a ROM skin. And, I don't know, Chief. I'm sure there are going to be some people who are, bow-wowing at this skin, if you will. But for me, actually looking at it in-game, it looks much worse than the splash art. And yeah, for me, the only real good thing about this skin is the weapon. The weapon is actually really sick, but we went from ROM to this, and I'm kind of just a little bit disappointed. But there is another skin for a tank coming up later that is much less disappointing, and in my opinion is much better. But it's not in the event pass. I believe it was a bounty store skin, I don't know. But we got recolors. We got a purple version of the Tyra skin, which it looks better in the splash art than it does in game. For some reason, in the splash art, right, she has these neutral colors, right? You got the gray all the way down, and then you've got the vibrant saturated purple. But in game, at least in the little preview they showed, it's more like a desaturated purple on the leggings, and all the purple is just less saturated, and there's fewer neutral colors. And I feel like it looks better in the splash art. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but yeah. Again, if you like it, you like it. I like purple. I wish they would have done that with the Leon skin instead of the weird, you know, same color palette of red, black, gold, and then added green to it. I don't know. And then finally we get to the recolor of the ROM skin, which is alright. I'm going to be sticking to ROM and the gold skin because those two are way better. If we're being 110% honest, alright? I get the horny bait, but I think they failed on this one. I'm going to be perfectly honest. And then we got some other Event Pass exclusive unlocks, like a bunch of stuff that's behind me. Okay, Hold on, chat. Alright, this time I'm taking myself out with you, okay? Poof. We're gone. We got a static avatar, we got an animated spray of the Tyra skin, which is cute and all. Animated avatar of the skin I was talking about. Ooh. Crazy 3D spray. And, ooh, an actually pretty awesome looking loading frame. That's both, like, majestic and creepy. This gives Path of Exile vibes, 110% to me. Almost gives, like, Chaos Orb or Regal Orb vibes with all the, like, different faces kind of just planted onto this thing in different angles. Kind of looking opposite directions. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Alright, chat. We can come back now. I know. It was scary being off the screen, but here we go. We're back. And, yeah. Trials of the Realm. Wow. Don't care. Actually, I do care. Oh, there's more stuff. Okay, wait. Bye, chat. We've got the Confused Tribunal emote for Savon, which... yeah, that's a mood. 7 when he gets a pentakill and the entire team is dead behind him, and he's just like, what happened, guys? I don't get it. And Octavia, I'm guessing this is an MVP pose. Flex on him. Okay. We also got Class Puppet and Mind Forever teasing another skin coming up later. And another skin coming up later. And another skin coming up later. Caspian having to say my eyes are up here. Oh gosh. Okay. And a flag spray and some other stuff. Okay. Most of that I don't care about, but the 7 emote is actually pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, chat, can we come back now? Yes, we can. Alright, chat, here we go. Poof. Excuse me. Alright, next up, I guess we're skipping the other skins. I don't know where those are, but we've got a new siege map inbound. This is what I was talking about earlier, and it's actually low-key, like, straight fire. Like, actually really, really sick, and it's, yeah, actually surpassed my expectations. I expected a Pyre-themed map, potentially a TDM map is what I heard, but it's a siege map, thankfully. And I didn't expect any, like, super new gimmicks or anything. I just expected, like, new Pyre map, cool aesthetic, new layout, that's it. But there's actually some new hazards on the map that we've never seen before, and a new interactive thingamadoohickey. You press a button and stuff happens, and that's very exciting. So let's get into it. We've got a bunch of low-quality pictures here. Bitrate's kind of suffering on that one a little bit. Oh goodness, I don't even want to know what resolution that is. But yeah, this is like Warder's Gate if Warder's Gate was actually like epic and really cool, and actually a proper map with decorations, and actually looked good. And it's very cool. It's also in space, which the actual surroundings of this map, super, super good looking. Like, it's all just in space. There's a bunch of Pyre stuff happening. It kind of gives space station vibes a little bit, but not really. Yeah, it's super, super cool. I hope there are more pictures here. But yeah, let's see. Welcome to the Dawnforge. The Abyss has had Abyss TDM for a while now, and we figured it was time for the Pyre to get some map representation. Can we do that for orcs next? Please, I'm begging you. Orcs are cool, alright? Female orc tank, orc map, I'm telling you, it's great. We pushed a lot of boundaries with this one. Lots of motion, gameplay-relevant interactable elements, and some new interesting approaches to materials. Lore-wise, this is a mobile fortress. It once belonged to the Queen of the Pyre, but is now under the command of Azan. After witnessing the realm's ability to defend itself against the Maw, Azan has found their combat prowess wanting. The realm could never repel a full-scale abyssal invasion. Its corruption is all but inevitable. Consequently, he has summoned the Dawnforge and made preparations to destroy the... Are they the bad guys? Okay. Well, he has summoned Dawnforge and made preparations to destroy the realm so the Abyss cannot corrupt what no longer exists. Wait, Azan's the bad guy? I mean, he's not wrong. They can't corrupt it if it doesn't exist, but doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose because it doesn't exist anymore? Ah. Alright, well,
Orb.
Wait, can you interact with that?
So the orb is cool. You'll notice that if you go and
Shh,
stand next to
talking.
it, you'll take about 5% health damage per second. Right, and there's Mango's taking
Oh.
5% health damage per second.
He's
But
dying.
What's of notice is this blue button on the side. Go ahead and hit that blue button. Let's see.
All right.
What's the button do? Show me the button.
Turns red. Orb starts moving above the central tower onto the central capture point, and alongside that, the capture point will begin flashing red, and 3 walls will come down from the sky on the second floor of the map. I didn't go too much into the capture.
That's
point,
so
but as you can see, there are
cool.
a ton of entrances here. And the purpose of the orb is to kind of spread out the point fight a bit and make it like a bit less consistent, so people are pushed towards both the forge and orb flank.
Oh, that's like
You know,
super
orb
unique,
flank
actually.
the orb may need adjusting, but
And here I thought we were just getting a regular old map.
the cool environment
That's
to feel
actually like a that's actually like a
button
thing
functions is
that
it
does
can be pressed at
stuff.
any time while the orb is current. We wanted to, with this map and designing it, I kind of wanted to employ a bit of verticality. So
Goodness.
you notice, as Dakota is here in the forge, also
Another map
the
hazard.
entire map
You could
turns
throw
to
someone
different
there
regions.
as the hammer goes down with Connalt, and then they just get
It
crushed.
took a lot of play testing to get that right. This is the hammer. This is the second major interactable POI. Now, you can do
so
a lot
cool.
of things with the hammer. It should obviously be a given. If you stand under the hammer, you will die.
Well for you.
Are they going to stand under it? Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no, buddy! Oh no!
Rest in peace.
Bye.
It will note that you have been damaged by the environment itself, and it will mark it as a kill depending on who last hit you before you went into the hammer. But that's not the only thing you can do with the hammer. Let's skip.
Imagine Sky trying to travel this map on foot.
The
Oh
hammer
gosh.
took a lot of testing.
Poor Sky.
Initial discussion. It actually became a POI in the first place in discussions with environment art, and I prototyped a couple iterations with it, and eventually we came across this slow-moving hammer that moves between 2 floors. So the second thing you can do with the hammer
you can just
actually
teleport
is
there.
that you can
Nice.
stand on top of it, as you can see Mango's is doing here, and you will move with it. This is like a nice little detail that you can use to move between the 2 floors and potentially confuse players.
That's
who are
actually
standing
really
on the second
cool.
floor.
Pyre elevator. So
Like
Pyre
genuinely, I
elevator. There
am
you go. That's very
thoroughly
nice.
surprised and impressed by this map.
So there.
Yeah, back to more skins now. I guess. Yeah, there really is only one picture. Whatever. I'm sure there'll be a video up on the official YouTube channel at some point, if it's not out already, showing basically what we saw in the update show, which is just the entire map, like, trailer, teaser, with a lot more visuals. And if that does exist, I'll also have put it in the video already. So, yeah. But anyways, skins. Actually, low-key, a really cool Ash skin. Like, this is what I'm talking about, alright? I don't want no big mommy succubus Rom skin that's all weird and, like, blue. No, I want this, alright? Just classic, sort of medieval Viking-ish armor. I think I really get the Viking vibes from, like, the forest behind her. It seems like a very cold environment, and that's very awesome. And the weapon actually looks really sick. This is, like, just her new gold skin now. Like, it's really actually super, super nice. Unfortunately, we didn't see any effects or anything in the actual trailer itself, or in the update show. But, I mean, just off the visuals alone, very nice. And it's available in the bounty store, so if you have a bunch of bounty coins, you can buy this skin. I have a bunch of bounty coins, so guess what I'm doing? I'm buying the skin. So yeah, really, really sick, actually. Super satisfied and happy with this skin. Probably my favorite of the update, in my personal opinion, just because I really like the theme, and I think it's really well executed. Also, she has blue hair. It doesn't show in the splash art, but it shows in game. And, yeah, I don't need to say anything else. Okay, Lovestruck Kasumi is the Kasumi skin. So Caspian didn't get a skin in the update preceding his release. And Kasumi is. So screw Caspian, I guess. And also screw Caspian, I guess, as you'll see in a little bit, because he didn't even get a skin of this quality, this update. But he did get a skin at least. So, yeah, this is kind of... I guess it says Lovestruck Kasumi. I'm not really sure what's up with that, but yeah, it's a skin that kind of follows up the Abyss Hunter Academy thing. She's the evil girl at her school, I guess. Covered in blood, looks absolutely creepy, yet still cute at the same time. And she has a doll that is the Ray Valedictorian skin from geez, was that the first event pass this year? I think it was. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. I can take my anger out on the fact that the skin sucks and stab it to death repeatedly in the match. Now, the single biggest disappointment from the skin, she doesn't actually use the butcher knife to stab the doll. She has a needle. The knife is just kind of sheathed in her back. Not sheathed in her back. It's sheathed in a satchel on her back. Okay, she doesn't stab herself. It would have been so cool to just... But no, it's not a thing. And it's very disappointing. But other than that, it's actually a very high quality skin. It looks actually really good. And yeah, it's a very, very good skin for Kasumi. And also in the balance, we'll have some wonderful changes for Kasumi as well, which I think you guys will enjoy. Okay, Skull and Bones Caspian. Now, I find this to be very intriguing for a very specific reason. So I was thinking to myself, it'd be really cool to have a pirate Caspian skin, right? Cutlass in one hand, flintlock in the other, fully dripped out in like immaculate, meticulous, resplendent pirate garb. And then he had like a young Jack Sparrow or like a Will Turner type of vibe in terms of the personality. Extremely flamboyant. Would have been awesome for like an epic or legendary skin. And would you look at this? It's technically a pirate skin, kind of, I guess. Sort of. You've got Judd Roberts in the background. You got Sati for some reason, like just tendriling onto the ship. Somehow. I don't know when she got that ability. And yeah, the splash art is absolutely beautiful. But in-game, this is a glorified recolor. Yeah, it literally just has like default Caspian assets with like some modified textures. So obviously he's got all these tattoos. He actually has even more tattoos on his back, like a skull or something. And the weapons, yeah, they are good looking, but they're also, again, recolors of default. So, yeah, it's kind of disappointing in that regard. But it kind of follows the same vibe of the Vatu skin, which we got, which is like, oh, it's a cheaper skin that you can buy for a cheaper amount of money, but there's not as much detail. I feel bad because it's another concept that I feel like they're not going to improve on and make like the full, like, garbed out, you know, resplendent looking pirate that I wanted. But I mean, at least it's cool, and it's only 300 crystals, so it's actually really cheap as far as skins go. And it's also in a chest apparently. So yeah, I mean, if you like it, you like it. I do think ultimately the concept is good. I just wish like we got a, you know, legendary decked out skin for it. I feel the same way about the Vatu skin too. But at least I don't have the hype built up for this skin that it's going to be something better than it is, so I feel a little bit less disappointed. But yeah, Caspian skin still has yet to get a proper legendary skin, or epic skin, or anything like that. Still has yet to get something on the quality of this, where it actually completely transforms him. So I don't know what Caspian did to deserve this treatment, but yeah, screw Caspian, I guess. Sorry, Caspian mains. Alright, let's move on to the general updates. So they didn't actually go through all of these, just because, geez, I yeah, recognize some of them already that they didn't talk about in the actual update show. So let's get into it. Block button. Paladins has an existing /block command. That is true. You can /block somebody and it works. But it's not something that's easy to find as a new player. Also, I don't think you can use it on console at all. So we've added a block button to the end of match lobby, the friends list, and a new block screen where you can block anyone by typing in their name. Okay, listen. Jewel wasn't in the update show because I think they said he's sick or something. So I'm gonna let it slide. Alright? But, I'm sorry. I have to point it out. English is hard. Yes, English is hard. You know, there are 3 theirs, and you got a 33% chance of getting it right, I guess. Alright. And yeah, here's what I was talking about with the event pass being able to purchase levels with gold. The community has asked for additional ways to spend their accumulated gold, and we're listening. We've added the ability to purchase event pass levels with gold. The crystal price, 70 crystals, will remain unchanged. But players can now instead elect to spend 70,000 gold instead if they prefer. And I believe that's per level. Enjoy. So that's pretty expensive. I mean, if we're talking the actual price, that's more expensive than a champion. However, the thing is, once you have all the champions, there's basically nothing to spend your gold on. There's some avatars here and there. There's those over-expensive titles that are basically just there to be expensive. So this is another way to do it. If you have a bunch of gold sitting around because you're a veteran player, you know, you got like 3 million gold in the coffers, well, if you don't feel like grinding your event pass, or you've run out of time, well, you can spend a little bit of gold and ramp that up. I think this is like a last resort option. I don't think you would want to buy the event pass and then just instantly drop, what is that, 70,000 times 24 levels is a metric boatload of gold? I don't think you want to spend that immediately, but, you know, if the end of the update is coming, you got like a week left and you find yourself 5 levels short, you can buy those. And you can do it for free now. So, well, for free. you know, you don't have to pay actual money for it. So, you know, it's very expensive, but the fact that they're doing this at all is a very good thing, and it's really only meant to be for people who have, like, an exorbitant amount of gold anyways. So, I think this is a really good change, and I'm super happy to see this be a thing. And again, very ironic that this comes literally as soon as I drop 9 million gold on titles, and I have no gold now. So, you know, it is what it is. And then lastly, Team Deathmatch, Choose Any. The Choose Any limited time mode has been an incredibly popular mode since its initial release, and some players have requested to include it as a permanent game mode. So now it is. The Team Deathmatch queue will allow duplicate champion selection moving forward. What wacky combinations will you try first? Oh! That's not what I thought they were going to do. Ooh. Okay. So this is a good and a bad thing. This is a good thing because Choose Any is back as a permanent mode. That's cool. People like that. This is a bad thing because what if you want to play a Team Deathmatch and not go against 5 Androxus players? You know that's going to happen, right? You queue for a nice casual game of Team Deathmatch, and there are 5 Androxus players on the enemy team. Someone's 5 stacked to the lobby and is farming Team Deathmatch for their win rate by only playing Androxus, or only playing Kasumi, or only playing 7, or something of that effect. And it's going to completely kill the casual experience for that game mode, as someone who just wants to relax and play a quick match of Paladins for like 5 minutes, and doesn't care about Choose Any at all. That's very disappointing. It would have been nice to see this just as, you know, instead of having it as limited time mode, just put it as a schism, you know? Like they've done this whole schism thing where we have a 4th game mode, just do it there. I don't know if this was the right way to go about it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Also, another thing that's disappointing here is that what if you wanted to play Choose Any in another game mode? What if you wanted to queue Choose Any and play a siege map or an onslaught map? Also, where is Choose Any in custom games? Give me the option to select duplicate champions in customs. Where is that? Yeah, it's cool, but it's also disappointing at the same time. I don't think I feel that great about this. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So, yeah. 5 Kasumis versus 5 EVs, yeah. The dream team versus the miserable, disgusting pieces of garbage. Except actually not really as miserable or disgusting anymore, because we're about to get into the balance section. Heck yeah! We've got some questionable changes, as well as some good changes for Kasumi, and I don't know what the rest of the stuff is, so let me zoom out real quick, just a little bit, so you can actually, like, read properly. There we go. And let's jump in. So first up, item store changes, and sheesh, this is a little bit questionable, I would say. I'm not sure I'm on board, especially with the first change in particular. Kill to heal. Now ignores anti-healing. You know that funny passive Cauterize? That's meant to be the hard counter to healing, where the only way you fight against Cauterize is by increasing healing percentage received through Rejuvenate or through a card. Yeah, no, we keep adding things that completely ignore that. You know, this fundamental game rule that's meant to be kind of like just this hard thing where all healing gets affected by it. Yeah, no. First it was Ray ult. Now it's Lilith ult. Now it's an entire freaking item. So, kill to heal now ignores anti-healing. That's the only change, so it's still going to scale at 200 per tier, and it's still going to cap out at 900 healing. So, in late game, you know, your healers are going to be useless, but hey, guess what? Buck with Bounce House just got a triple kill and healed himself for 2700 health. Even though they were shooting him, they were applying a Cauterize. Yeah, that's the thing. So this is a super major hard buff to snowball characters. Buck, Eevee, even though it's not a direct buff, it's an indirect buff, because this item works super well on people who can chain kills. You know, people who dive in, get a kill, and then chain to another kill, Bounce House, Snow Globe. So, yeah, people are going to complain about that. And I believe Infernal tweeted about this at some point. I don't remember what the results of the poll were, because I think she did a poll. But regardless, I think that's where this stemmed from, and I was against it even in the tweet. So I'm going to say this is a pretty bad change. We'll see how it actually plays out in-game, but I'm scared to see what this does to flanks in particular. Like, first it was the cooldown reduction changes that we thought were going to break Buck and Eevee, and they did make them way stronger than they previously were. And now there's this. And, like, the ultimate fear I have, the ultimate fear I have, is that, like, hey, you're going to have some EV players, like myself, who already buy Kill to Heal. We're going to become ludicrously hard to kill because Kill to Heal 3 is a thing. And it'll just give 900 healing. Literally half of Eevee's health back without Cauterize. And then they're going to complain about Eevee. And then Eevee herself is going to get nerfed, even though Kill to Heal is the problem because you never should have buffed it in the first place. I don't know. I don't know, man. Also, another thing you could think of now, if you're a support. You know, you get assists off healing other people. Kill to Heal could be better now, too. That's the second use case for it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this change. I wasn't even a fan of this change when it was first suggested. So, next up, Rejuvenate. Bonus healing increased. I already thought this item was pretty strong, especially if you buy it when you have a champion on your team like Pip, or like, you know, Io, who dumps healing. Well, specifically a good combat medic Pip. You know, obviously not all Pips are worthy of Rejuvenate, but, you know, you have like Zyke on your team or something. You want some Rejuvenate, right? Because the healing is immaculate. And it really cut deep against Cauterize. 25% basically against Cauterize. Cauterize went from 90% to, what, 65%? Something like that? Roughly. Quick maths. And yeah, that's buffed up to 30% now, so Rejuvenate. Even stronger. But also, something that I really hate that they keep doing.
Traveler.
Hey, Fishnet, what's up? We're getting to the balance. We're getting to the juicy bits of the update. Anyways, back to the update. Something that I really hate that they keep doing is they're making inflation a thing in Paladins. They keep making everything more expensive. They made Veteran more expensive. They made Haven more expensive. Now they're making Rejuvenate more expensive. They also made Illuminate more expensive. Everything is getting so expensive. I just want to buy things. And they're making it harder to do that. And I don't really like that. So, yeah, I don't think the Rejuvenate buff was totally necessary. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird, you know? It's just strange. And then the last buff, this is the only buff I actually think was necessary. I totally didn't think of this buff, but I think it's a good idea, is lethality is getting buffed. Increased duration, first of all. 2.5 seconds is a bit on the small side, and so having the effect for longer is good. Makes the item much better to pick up, again, on someone who's snowbally like Buck. And then also, this is interesting, they increased the jump height by up to 180%. So, yeah, almost triple jump height then. Going from 100% jump height to 280% jump height. Exciting. I wonder how that stacks with certain abilities as well. Ray has a passive jump height increase, Envelop increases it even further. So if you have Envelop, and then you get a lethality proc with lethality 3, how high do you jump? Vatu has a card that increases jump height. How high does he jump if he gets a lethality proc? Koga has a card that increases jump height and agility. Frogga? Is that like Mega Frogga now? Just goes whee! I don't know. It's interesting. So, this will be something hopefully fun to try. I don't know how good lethality is going to be. It's definitely going to be better. That's a given. But will it be something you actually really want to pick up in lieu of something like Chronos, Haven, the new Kill to Heal? I don't know. So, we'll just have to see. We'll have to test it out. But, Buck players, Bounce House, Kill to Heal lethality, first buys. Max these two out, and then get Haven. And the enemy team just cries. That just sad. Alright, let's see. Let's take a look at the champions now. What the heck is this? Okay, no, what the no! Wait, why are they doing this? Wait, no! Wait, why are they doing this? It was perfect! Wait, what? No, she was actually fine. No, she was... she was actually fine. She was actually in such a good spot. Like, yeah, she wasn't, like, meta, but you don't have to be hard meta to be in a good spot. Yeah, she's bad against, like, Androxus, but she is, like, one of the scariest tank busters, and on a map like Ice Mines, she's actually really good. This is unnecessary, dude. 650 was, like, the sweet spot. This is too much. Straight up 100 damage increase? Are you kidding me? Oh, God. Alright, Shadow Tribunal for Corvus. Increased healing by double, from 2.5% per tier to 5% per tier. Chat, can you remind me which card this is? Is this a card that just increases the healing on mark? I think it is. If that's the case, that's a pretty scary buff. Yeah, it's healing on mark? Okay, yeah. Yeah, if that's the case... Whew, that's actually like a huge buff. And... Oh, man. No, guys, we really are entering a buck meta. Alright, right. Check this out. Kill to heal. Now ignores anti-healing. Lethality, increased duration, and increases jump height. Buck can rush those two items off the start. Because, 450 credits, this is 250, this is 200. Corvus, Dark Gifts, Shadow Tribunal, now twice as effective. Slap it on that boy. Alright, and then you've got the DR card on Leap. You've got cooldown reduction when you get a kill. Or an elimination, actually, so Corvus can finish off the kill, or anyone can finish off the kill. Raven Trick meta. Yeah, Raven Trick's not even in the AOC, though. Maybe someone in the AOC has a crush on Raven Trick. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Raven Trick's gotta be happy, right? No Buck nerfs either. I mean, no Buck buffs. Not that he needs a buff. He's getting a bunch of indirect buffs. Corvus pocketed Buck is gonna be insane. Lethality kill to heal. Oh, goodness. I'm scared. Yeah, no gold skins, bummer. Oh, true. I didn't even notice that. Wait, that's 2 updates that's gone by now with no gold skins. Did they forget that they still have 4 more to add? Usually it's 1 every other update. So, like, you get 1 update, 2 gold skins. Then another update, no gold skins. Then another update, 2 gold skins. They forgore. Oh, no. Wait, Eevee, Zin, Con, Fernando. Okay, I guess we all just get shafted then. Okay. Well, let's see. What's up next? Fernando. Only one change here, and it's the Scorch. They are giving Scorch raw buffs. Reduces the cooldown of Fireball from 7 seconds down to 6 seconds. Okay, cool. And damage bonus increase from 30 to 35%. So, raw damage increase and use for Fireball more often. It's nice. Problem is, no matter how much you buff Scorch, unless you make it overpowered, you're never going to run Scorch over Aegis. Aegis provides way too much utility. I'm still thinking maybe it'd be a good idea just to put a weakened version of it in base, right? The toggleable function is so nice. If you made it not recharge at base, and you made it also have lower HP value, like maybe a 4,000 health shield or something instead, but just had that toggling function instead of putting it on a cooldown, then all of a sudden all three talents become viable. You could keep Aegis' current implementation of increasing the shield's health, making it recharge while up, and it would be his defensive talent, but then you'd also be able to run Scorch and have the utility of the shield, or you'd be able to run Formidable and have the utility of the shield, and then all of a sudden, bam, all 3 talents viable. Easy. So, that's my thought. And these are nice buffs, but again, you're never going to run Scorch over Aegis. Period. Aegis is just too good. It's too much utility. And while it may be balanced somewhat, like, it might not be like the most overpowered thing since Azan, yeah, that's just like, it's still so much better. Like, the utility is so much higher than the other talents that, like, yes, there's no reason to run it. Okay, Imani, they talked about these in the update show, actually. Frostbolt is getting 10 extra damage. Woohoo. And Pyromania, also getting a buff, now increases the mana generated by Pyreball. So they're not increasing the damage back to 1,000. Right! So you're still going to nerf your damage on a single target with Pyromania, but it still keeps the AoE, and with the AoE, you were already generating more mana if you had multiple people, but now you're really generating more mana, so you're going to get those 2 Fireball combos of bam, bam, a lot faster. I still don't think you'll run this talent because of the just simply worse single target damage, which is what you need a lot of the time, It's not always you're fighting 3 members of the enemy team grouped up. But, I mean, it's cool, I guess. Inara! Alright, getting a bit of a power shift here. Earthen Guard reduces bonus healing from 40% to 30%. So Treacherous Ground and Tremors getting nerfed here. Yeah, just 10% less increased healing. But I suppose this also might be to compensate for the fact that now Rejuvenate is 30% instead of 24%. So you'll still be able to stack that and get crazy amounts of increased healing. But then, Mother's Grace now increases bonus healing by 20% when Earthen Guard is active. So this is actually overall a net buff for Mother's Grace. Because, yeah, they're reducing the base healing by 10, but then they're increasing the healing on the talent by 20, so it's a net gain of 10%. So 50% increased healing while Earthen Guard is active, and then stack that with buffed Rejuvenate. Holy crap, that's going to be strong in late game Cauterize, right? 50% plus 30%, there's some diminishing returns on that, so it's not quite going to be 80%, but I'm thinking maybe ballpark like 65, 70%, something like that. I don't know the rough, or I don't know the precise diminishing returns calculation, someone could do that. But that's going to make late game Cauterize feel like a joke. That's going to make late game Cauterize while Earthen Guard is up feel like early game Cauterize. So that's, yeah, interesting. But yeah, still a nerf ultimately to Treacherous Ground and Tremors, which, yeah, I don't know if you should really be nerfing Tremors. Treacherous Ground, though, is a very popular playstyle, so I kind of understand it. Wanting to make Mother's Grace really play more into the defensive capabilities. Interesting power shift here. And now for probably the highlight of the entire balance that everyone has been asking for. Literally everyone. Except for like 2 auto-aim apologists who are just weird and objectively incorrect. So we have... I'm not even going to talk about body, so I don't care. Yokai Doll. Decreased targeting cone angle from 6 to 2 degrees. A whopping 66% reduction in the targeting cone. Huge nerf to the auto-aim. Now, we didn't get to see too much of this in the update show, and I will definitely test this on the PTS. Which, by the way, if you're not following Twitch already, and you're not following YouTube already, follow both of those, because I will be making a bunch of PTS content when it comes out. I am assuming this Friday. But yeah, when they were showcasing the skin, it did look much, much tighter. Still a little bit loose, you know, you could be aiming a little tiny bit to the, like, left, right, bottom, or top of the character, so you don't have to be, like, aiming directly center mass. But it looked significantly tighter, and that is very exciting, because auto-aim is not fun to play against. It's simply not. Like, I don't care who you are, the auto-aim that she had, the targeting cone that she had, way too big, and it felt skillless. It was not only not fun to play as, because no skill involved, but also not fun to play against, because if you're playing someone who relies on evasion, you cannot dodge her attacks. So, this is very nice, and also, even though it looks like a nerf, there's also a hidden buff in here, in the sense that, since the targeting cone is tighter, deployables and shields are going to counter her less. I don't know if Vivian will still be a hard counter to her with the ult drones. I don't know if, like, you aim at Vivian, if it'll still target the drones or not. But it means that, like, if Barrack has a random turret on the battlefield, you're less likely to target that if you're aiming at Barrack himself or another teammate. So, it's a nerf and a buff, and I'm very happy to see this. And they also did do a damage nerf as well. I was saying maybe we should wait to nerf her damage until after we get to play with the nerfed targeting cone in my feedback video. But this is, like, I think a reasonable enough nerf. Like, they're decreasing the bonus damage you get from 25 to 20%. So ultimately, across 5 stacks, that's a net loss of 25% damage. Or 25% increased damage, excuse me. So, yeah, it's interesting. They might need to revert that nerf in particular. I don't know. We'll have to playtest that for sure. But super excited to see this. I am a bit sad to see that they did not actually go through with the... I'm sad to see that they did not actually rework Body and Soul how I wanted them to rework it. Basically, in a nutshell, what I explained in my feedback video was, hey, just make it so that if you left-click, or, you know, left or right trigger, whatever it is on console, if you use your fire ability, your fire button, while you're in Body and Soul, you end the ability early and you teleport to your soul. Right? The current implementation is you can recast the ability... right, pressing the ability button again to teleport back to your body. I wanted them to add that functionality of if you left-click, you teleport to your soul and cut it early. That would make it a lot more flexible to use, and it wouldn't penalize you for having an increased duration card or using the talent that increases the duration. Because if you increase the duration of body and soul, it actually takes longer for you to get your body out of the vulnerable position that it's in. It's better for engaging, but it's worse for retreating. And it's worse for dodging, like, big bursts of damage and stuff like that. So I would really, like, appreciate that functionality, and maybe we'll see it in a future update. If I keep harping about it, maybe someone will see, and maybe someone will think it's a good idea, and maybe someone will add it. Or, I don't know, maybe an AOC member will see it and suggest it, or maybe I'll run for AOC. I don't freaking know. I don't know, man. But yeah, ultimately, super happy to see this. Next up, Kinessa. Restore. Removed cooldown. Refactored healing from flat 25% to Up to 30% at max, 6% per tier. So restore, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, this is the card that heals you whenever you teleport. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, can S nerf big up? Wait, what are you guys saying? Hold on, how is this a nerf? They removed the cooldown, so it applies on every teleport now, and it caps out at 30% now instead of 25. This card is useless now? I'm sorry, huh? You could put 1 point into it and it was 25%. Yeah, but this is every teleport now, so it's a lot more reliable. What was the cooldown? Like 30 seconds? Like, what was the cooldown? I forget. I know that, like, the card, like, scales down the cooldown, but I don't remember. You were not teleporting very often. It's a big nerf. Okay, well, if you say so, chat. I'll trust the Kasumi in chat on this one, then. Okay, restore nerfed, even though it looks like a buff. Whatever. Moving on. Oh! I think someone high-res does actually watch my videos. I think they do actually. I think someone's watching. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Jewel or Srixis or, well, Nico's gone. I don't know who it is, but thank you. I was complaining about this exact thing with Lilith, alright? There's no permanence on the swarms, right? You put them down, they last for 4 seconds, you have to channel them every 2 seconds. It feels like you're doing nothing but spamming swarm, and I hate it. So this will make her a little bit closer to like Damba Grok in the sense of like, you put a swarm down, it's there for 6.5 seconds. That's a huge duration increase. And so you've got a lot more permanence on that. You can chuck a swarm down on the point, tanks can be basking in that for 6.5 seconds, you can hex someone and you can do more shooting. And you can actually like, go kill things. And yeah, they also increase the cooldown to compensate, which I think is alright. So let's see, what's what? A 1.5 second increased cooldown, and a, 2.25 second increase on the duration, so ultimately it is more uptime. Ultimately, yeah. And it also makes it so you do have to be a bit more skillful in your placements, too. Because, like, if you mess up your placement, well, it's a longer cooldown before you can place another swarm again, so it actually raises the skill ceiling of Lilith as well. Yeah, it means it's also less flexible, in a sense, because you know, if you mess up, you can't replace it as quickly. But for me, at least, I like this. And yeah, I am totally okay with that. It would be nice to see maybe like a slight range increase as well. Or the big thing is like, hey, she has literal swarms of bats that fly. Why is there like barely any vertical range on this thing? Grok totems have like, what, 500-600% more vertical range than a Lilith swarm? And it doesn't make sense because they're bats. So can we get a bit more vertical range on this at least? That'd be a little bit nice. A little bit. You know, would be cool. Anyways, let's see. Oh, hello. Okay, Maldumba, Spirit's Chosen. 100 extra healing on the burst. Spirit's Chosen, now. Even better, and even more of a reason, never to run Ripened Gourd. Do not run Ripened Gourd. Ripened Gourd is garbage. Ripened Gourd sucks, alright? It removes your damage. And damage is important. And it also is inflexible. Spirit's Chosen, way more flexible. You right-click somebody, you give them the burst no matter where they are. They could be a mile away from you. And it sticks with them for 4 seconds. So much better. Run Spirit's Chosen. Trust me. Alright? It's awesome. Pip. Oh, also getting a small buff. Okay, Catalyst. Increased bonus damage from 30 to 35%. I guess they were seeing too much Mega Potion. And they were like, hey, Catalyst is an off-support playstyle too. So, I guess they're really trying to emphasize the dynamic of if you're an off-support with Pip, you have 2 options. You can go Mega Potion and increase your self-sustain and increase the healing that you give to your team as well. Or you can go Catalyst, and it'll really make you do more damage. At the cost of, you know, sustain and supporting your team. So, okay. Cool. Nifty, neat, awesome. Alright, Ray, this is another change that they went over on the update show. Chain Heal is getting a major speed boost, 50% faster, from 180 to 270. So, should be a lot more reliable to just get those heals where they're going. Especially with extension as well. It'll make that town a lot more reliable. And then Threatened Subject. Again, this is the this is the speed on Elim card, if I remember correctly from what Erlenmeyer said. Increase the duration of the speed you get from 2 seconds to 5 seconds, which is a major duration increase, but ultimately there are so many other cards with more utility that are probably better to run than this. And then Arcane Maelstrom. Again, chat, remind me which cooldown this is for. Is this for raised cooldowns, or is this for the cooldown reduction she gives to a teammate when she does the envelop thingy? I forget. But they refactored the cooldown reduction effect from up to half a second at max to up to 20% of their cooldown at max. Arcane Maelstrom is reduced cooldown on allies when envelop. Okay, so yeah, instead of giving, you know, your allies half a second of cooldown reduction on all their abilities when you envelop them, you give them 20% cooldown reduction on all their abilities, which scales a heck of a lot better on certain characters, right? Because, like, if you do this on someone with a low cooldown, like, let's just say you're doing this for a Lilith Swarm, right? You have this card maxed out. Half a second. Wow, that's crazy. That's significant. That's a huge portion of the Lilith Swarm. But you do that on Octavia with her Distortion Field, which has, what, a 16-second cooldown or something? Long cooldown. Half a second is nothing. 20% of that 16 seconds, however, that's a big deal. So that's ultimately a lot better for champions with higher cooldowns, which, if you're going to give cooldown reduction to anybody, you want to give it to people with the longest cooldowns. Because, like, yeah, half a second off of a 2-second cooldown, yeah, it's statistically a very big percentage, but it's only 2 seconds. They'll get that back really quick anyways. So you want to help the people who have long cooldowns. So this card actually might be worth running if you specifically have a team comp with very long cooldowns. Now keep in mind, it is only on Envelop, but, I mean, it can still maybe be helpful. We'll have to test it out. Have to test, but this is a very intriguing change for Rey. Could offer her even more utility, because she's already unique in the sense that she's the only one who buffs your ultimate charge. But buffing your cooldowns as well? Well, that's something I think only she and Corvus share. And Corvus was really the only one who actually had, like, a good effect on it. Like, Dark Gifts gave, what, 10% cooldown reduction? Kind of like Chronos? Whereas this was kind of just a joke. So this might make Rey a more serious competitor to Corvus in that aspect. Even though both of them were kind of niche to begin with. But, you know, it's the thought that counts, right? Alright, let's see. Ceres, Spirit Liege. Increased ammo generated from 1 to 2. Wow, I don't care. Chat, I need you to tell me how big of a change this is. I don't know what this means. Does this mean Terminus will not, like, have aim assist, so he won't be able to, like, have his game, like, just rotate the siphon to a moving target? Or does it mean that controller players will not be able to target the siphon, like the aim assist won't apply to the siphon? Tell me, chat. Because I don't know. I don't play controller, as you know. This is either, like, a huge quality of life thing for controller players, or it's, like, eh. I'm hoping it's the huge quality of life thing, because I know Terminus is a monster on controller, because his siphon really screws with people's aim assist. So, like, if I'm playing Sati, and Terminus puts a siphon in my face, if the aim assist no longer just gravitates towards the siphon, that is huge! That means he's no longer an insta-ban. That means Terminus is, like, you know, still, like, an okay tank, but, like, not the menace that he is on controller. Huge if it's what I think it is. Absolutely huge if it's what I think it is. And I'm surprised I didn't talk about this in the update show if that's the case. Because, you know, console players are, like, I think the majority of the game player base by a slight margin. I don't actually know. I don't know if there are official numbers on that, but there are a significant portion of the player base anyways. And, yeah, that's pretty huge if true. So, yeah. Alright, next up, Tyra, Crossfire, reduced pre-fire from 0.8 seconds to 0.4 seconds. I believe that's her ultimate. I don't actually remember her ultimate name. It's kind of boring, but I guess it means you'll be able to shoot people quicker. Like, she takes less time to plug in the drum and then go. So, yeah. And Ying's ability Shatter. Decreased cooldown from 4 seconds to 3 seconds. Well, hold on now. Wait a minute. This is just base Shatter. So, like, this is a buff for Resonance, kind of. Maybe, I think. Maybe buff for Focusing Lens. But this is a huge buff for Life Exchange. Do you remember, chat? A few patches ago, they were going to decrease the cooldown of, or remove the cooldown reduction of, or excuse me. they were going to remove the cooldown increase on Life Exchange. Life Exchange increases the cooldown of Shatter by 1 second. They were going to remove that, which effectively decreases the cooldown by 1 second. Right? And then they baited us and didn't actually add it. Well, guess what? That's because I guess they're adding it at base kit now. So they're buffing all the playstyles instead of just Life Exchange. I guess. You could kind of think of it that way. So, Ying healing is going to be significantly better because it's shatter-based. I don't know how much this means for the other playstyles, because frankly, when I play Focus Glows, I don't shatter that much. When I play Resonance, I just get 4-0'd because Resonance is kind of weird. But yeah, huge buff for Life Exchange. If they actually add it to the game, let's hope they don't bait us again. They've baited us on a lot of stuff. Do you guys remember when they were going to add the ability to look at your Grover radius in first person? Yeah, that was a lie. So, who knows? Maybe they won't add that. I don't know. They've baited us once before with Ying. They might bait us twice again with Ying. So, we'll see. Alright, let's move on to bug fixes. We've got a bunch of stuff for Kasumi here. Okay. So, unfinished business now properly ignores anti-healing. That's good. Unfinished business was worse than it should have been because the anti-healing applied to the healing you got from it, so the talent didn't really give you a lot. The talent is still going to suck because it increases the duration by 1 second, and like I mentioned earlier, that just increases the duration that your body is in the same place getting shot. So you're actually more likely to die with this talent than with her other talents. And if they would just add the ability to teleport to your soul at any time during the thing, it'd be good. That duration would not be a negative, but currently as it stands, it's actually a bit of a negative. And then ability Spirit Lure. Spooky change here. Yeah, we don't actually know what this is. It's a ghost. But it now properly sets feared opponents to third person for the duration. Hey, I knew that wasn't intended. That's good. That's consistent. Because when you're feared, you should be in third person. Because it really emphasizes that you're not in control of your movements and also make it consistent with Maldamba and with Siphon. So, I like that. And Essence Drain. Fix text to properly match the effect. Your Savage Tear deals an additional 0.2% damage to 0.2% base damage per stack of curse on your target. Okay, but you didn't like rework the card, so it's still a mandatory card because it increases the damage of your Savage Tear to 1100, which is kind of crazy burst. Okay, whatever. Whatever. And that's it for bug fixes. There's Kasumi, and then there's this. Under investigation, ignoring anti-healing. Effects that ignore anti-healing will still display the amount healed, as if it has been reduced by anti-healing, olive color instead of green. So they're trying to, I guess, remove that effect. So if you get a heal that is not affected by anti-healing, it'll still be green? Okay, whatever. Not a lot of bug fixes. But of course, this update is coming out, like, super quickly. So maybe that's why that's a bit rushed, I guess. Interesting stuff. So yeah, instead of getting a new champion, we are getting a new map. And that's very cool. And the new map is actually very, very sick. And I can't wait to playtest it, because we've got this button that moves this sun into the center, as well as brings some walls down to, like, provide cover to the point. And there's a hammer that you can smash people with. And that's awesome. And it looks really, really sick. And yeah, no new champion means, hey, well, I mean, it sucks because there's no new champion, but at the same time, it's great because the game is too oversaturated with champions right now. There are too many, and it's hard to balance, and honestly, I feel like people want to take a breather from that. But it's also very sad because we got no new tank this year, and I'm very mad about that as a tank player. But, you know what? New map is cool, and I appreciate that. Also, casually just dropping that Azan wants to destroy the realm, because, that's a thing, I guess. New skins. Draconian Huntress Ash, probably my favorite skin. We got Kasumi skin. We got, less cool Caspian skin. Poor Caspian, not actually getting a epic skin. Bunch of important stuff here. Block button, being able to buy event pass levels with gold, choose any being added to Team Deathmatch, which is a very questionable change. Very questionable item changes. Some good balance, some highly questionable balance, as always. You gotta have some good and some bad. And yeah, an event pass that looks about the same as the last event pass. Interesting. So yeah, that is the Dawnforge update notes. If you guys have enjoyed, of course, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Once again, we're recording this live on Twitch, so if you're not already following me on Twitch, go check that out. We'll be streaming the PTS once it comes out, and you will not want to miss that. Link is in the description, as well as a link to my Discord server, where you can find a bunch of people to party up with, and it's just honestly a wonderful place to be. Lastly, if you want to support me, please consider checking out my Nexus at nexus.gg/AndrewChicken. You can buy crystals, the season pass, and more, and support me in the process. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.
Hey.